Hi, welcome to the Explainer series for Quant. Here we'll be using very simple concepts and apply it to CAT level problems and solve them as easily as possible. In this session, we'll be looking at building upon the concepts of arithmetic progression. I would suggest if you have not seen the first video on arithmetic progression, please do have a look at it. The link is available in the description of this video. We'll be solving 3 questions which use arithmetic progression and some additional mathematical concepts. Right, so I'll suggest pause this video, look at the questions. The link is available in the description of this video. Once you've tried this on your own, then proceed with the rest of this session. Please do share this with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. You can like and follow us on Facebook as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel to get live event and notifications for all the updates regarding CAT and other MBA entrance examination. You can also look at our WhatsApp as well as Telegram lists. You can join over there and we will update you. We don't spam over there. If you want, you can enroll for our Quant and LRDI courses. These are the best and the most comprehensive courses available in the market. The previous explainer, we had discussed the basics of how to go about identifying the nth term of a arithmetic progression, how to quickly calculate that. And we also looked at how to look at the sum of n terms and the basic concept of the fact that sum of terms which are equidistant from each end is a constant. Right. So today we'll be building up on this. So we'll be using the basic concepts of arithmetic progression and use some additional mathematical concepts like either quadratic equations or numbers where you will have to look at factors, etc., or even statistical terms. Right. So the first question basically use some additional terminology besides the arithmetic progression. Right. This is from XAT 2011. I have eliminated one of the wrong answers. XAT usually comes with 5 options. Okay, this says in a list of 7 positive integers, one integer denoted as x is unknown. So we know x is a positive integer, right? It can be 1, 2, 3, etc. It cannot be a fraction. It cannot be a negative number. It cannot be 0 also. The other 6 integers are 20, 4, 10, 4, 8, and 4. If the mean, median, and mode of these 7 integers are arranged in ascending order, they form an arithmetic progression. Sum of all possible values of x is how much? Okay, so you have 4. I need to arrange it in ascending order first, right? Because I need to calculate the median, right? So 4, there are 3 4s here. Then there is an 8. Then there is a 10 and there is a 20, right? And there is an unknown number x, right? What will be the mode? Mode is the number which comes up the maximum number of times, right? So 4 will come maximum number of time irrespective of what the value of x is. If x is 8, 10 or 20, right, the mode will still be 4. So we know mode is 4. What will be the median? Median will be the middle term. There are 7 numbers, so the middle term will be there. Now depending on where x comes, right, median will change, right? For example, if x is equal to 4 or less than 4, right? If x is equal to 4 or less than 4, the middle number will be one of these 4s or x, right? So median can be 4, right? If x lies between 4 and 8, then the median will be x. And if x is more than 8, right, the median will be 8. Right, so there are 3 possibilities of median: 4, x, and 8. What will be the mean? Mean will be the sum of the numbers divided by 7. There are 7 numbers divided by 7. So 12 plus 8, 20, plus 20, 40, plus 10, 50, 50 plus x. This will be your mean. Now, given that the statement says that mean, median, and mode, when arranged in ascending order, form an arithmetic progression, right? So mean, median, and mode, if you arrange it either in ascending or descending order, has to be an arithmetic progression. Now, mode is a natural number, 4. Median also will be a natural number, 4, x, and 8, right? X is also a natural number, a positive integer, right? So the only way to balance this relationship would be when mean is also a natural number, right? 4 if this is 6, this can be 8. If this is 4, this is 7, this can be 10. If this is 4, this is 8, this will be 12. There are multiple scenarios which are possible depending on the what the value of x actually is, right? So we know that the mean is a multiple of 7. 50 plus x should be a multiple of 7, which means the mean will become a natural number. Okay, now let's look at the three scenarios. The first scenario was when x is less than or equal to 4. If x is less than or equal to 4, right, so you can get x can be 1, 2 or 3 or even 4. So you can get 51, 52, 53 or 54. Right, none of them are multiples of 7. Right, so x cannot be less than or equal to 4. Right, if x lies between 4 and 8, if x lies between 4 and 8, right, so your mode is 4, median is x, and mean will be 50 plus x divided by 7, right? So between 4 and 8, so you can have 54, 55 till 58. Now the only multiple of 7 which will make the mean a natural number will be when x is equal to 6, and it lies between 4 and 8, right? So if I put x is equal to 6, this relationship should be satisfied. Let's see. 4, 6 and 56 divided by 7 is 8. 56 divided by 7 is 8. So they are in arithmetic progression. 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, and x is equal to 6 satisfies. That is one scenario which is possible. But that's not the only scenario. And even if you look at the question, it says look at all possible values of x. Now the third scenario is when x is greater than or equal to 8. Right, in that case, the median will become 8. Right, 8 will be the middle term. X will lie beyond the beyond 8. Right, so 8 will be the median. So mode is 4, median is 8. Right. Also, the mean, because 58 is more than 58 by 7 is more than 8. The mean will be greater than the median. The mean will be greater than the median. So 4, 8. To balance this arithmetic progression, the mean should be 12. The mean should be 12. Now, if the mean is 12, the sum should be 12 into 7, 84. Right, 84 should be 50 plus x, which means x should be equal to 34. So if I substitute x is equal to 34, which satisfies my original criteria, x has to be greater than or equal to 8. So it satisfies this criteria. Mode is 4, median is 8, mean is 12. And x will be 34. So there are two scenarios possible, x is equal to 6 or x is equal to 34. What is sum of all possible values of x? 6 plus 34, 40. Now the second question is again from a previous XAT paper. This is from XAT 2014. It says x 17, 3x minus y square minus 2 and 3x plus y square minus 30. We are 4 consecutive terms in an increasing arithmetic progression. So each term keeps on increasing. The sum of the 4 numbers is divisible by what? Okay, these are the options. Okay, now let's look at the sum. What will be the sum? If I add this, you'll have x, 3x, 3x, so 7x. What will be for y square? Minus y square plus y square, so no y square term. And 17 minus 2 is 15, 15 minus 30 is minus 15. Right, 7x minus 15. Right, what will this be divisible by? Right, so assuming x is a natural number, right, you will get, this cannot be a multiple of 7 for sure. This cannot be a multiple of 7. Right, because 7 into any number will be a multiple of 7, but a multiple of 7 minus 15 cannot be a multiple of 7. So it cannot be a multiple of 7. So that leaves us with 2, 3 and 5. Right, what happens with 2, 3 and 5? Now for x to be a multiple, for this term to be a multiple of 2 or an even number, x has to be an odd number. Odd number minus even number, odd number minus odd number will give you an even number. Whereas an odd number, even number minus an odd number will still give you an odd number. An odd number is not divisible by 2. So for this sum to be a multiple of 2, x has to be an odd number. So if x is odd, it is a multiple of 2. How will we get a multiple of 3? Right, to get a multiple of 3, now 15 is a multiple of 3. To balance this relation, x has to be a multiple of 3. If x is 3, then the entire term is also a multiple of 3. And we'll get option C similarly if x is a multiple of 5. If x is a multiple of 5, then you will get the full term to be a multiple of 5. Now, how do we check what is the value of x is? Right. Now we know there are consecutive terms in an arithmetic progression, which means the difference between the two terms will be constant. Right. Which means difference between the first two terms will be 17 minus x. This should be equal to the difference here. So 3x minus y square minus 19. Right. Which is same as the difference between the last and the second last term. 3x minus 3x is 0. Y square minus y square is 2y square. Right, and minus 30 minus 2 will be minus 28. So all the three terms, all the three differences should be equal. Where do we go now? Okay, let's equate these two. If we equate these two, you will get 3x minus 3x plus 9 should be equal to 3y square, right? 3x plus 9 should be equal to 3y square, or y square should be equal to x plus 3. Y square should be equal to x plus 3. Now if I substitute it here, so 3x minus x plus 3 minus 19 should be equal to 17 minus x. If I rewrite this minus x will get cancelled here. So we'll get 17 plus 19 is 36, should be equal to 3x minus 3. So 3x should be equal to 39, x should be equal to 13. X should be equal to 13. Now x is not a multiple of 3, so cannot be option B. X cannot be is not a multiple of 5, cannot be option C. Leaves us with option A. The third question is from CAT 2006. Let's see what this says. Consider a set S, which is 1, 2, 3 till 1000. So you have 1000 elements in the set. How many arithmetic progressions can be formed from the elements of S, which starts with 1, end with 1000, and at least has 3 elements? So you have 1, 2, 3 till 1000. Right. It has to contain at least 3 elements. So I cannot just make a progression which has 1 and 1000. Right. So, right. It has to contain at least 3 elements out of this. So one more element at least of this. And it should be an arithmetic progression. Right. So it should start with 1 and end with 1000. So the first term is 1. The nth term, the last term, should be 1000. Now what do we know about the nth term? So if this is a, this will be a plus n minus 1 into d. This should be equal to 1000. Now we know a is equal to 1, which means n minus 1 into d should be equal to 999. Now if you observe carefully, this is product of two numbers, 999. So how many ways can it be written as product of two numbers? Basically, if n minus 1 should be a factor of 999, d should also be a factor of 999. So we would have read quite a bit about numbers, how to write a number as a product of two numbers. This is an application of this. But you need to be a little careful. N minus 1 can be any factor. So whether you take 1 into 999 or 999 into 1, when you count the number of ways of writing it as a multiple of two numbers, you think of this as 1. But here, n is equal to n minus 1 is equal to 1 will give you a different result, and n minus 1 is equal to 999 will give you a different result. So these are ordered pairs. So you'll count them as two different instances. So let's figure out how many factors are there. How many factors of 999 are there? Right. So I can factorize it as 9 into 111. So that's 111 is 3 into 37. And 3 into 9 is 3 cube. Right. So 37 is a prime number. So 3 cube into 37 to the power 1. So number of factors will be 4. 3 plus 1, 4 into 1 plus 1, 2. So that will be 8 factors. So n minus 1 can take any of those 8 values. Right. But it cannot take one of the values. Which value it cannot take? It cannot take 1. Why? Because if I put n minus 1 is equal to 1, n will be equal to 2, right? And you want at least 3 elements. At least 3 elements. So this scenario cannot exist. So subtract 1 from this. 7 possibilities. Option D will be your correct choice. Now you can verify this also. Let's take any value of n. So if I put n minus 1 equals 3, right? So it will be 3 into 333, right? So your D, the value of D equals 333. So n minus 1 is equal to 3, so n should be equal to 4, right? You can verify. The first term is 1. The next term will be 1 plus 333, which will be 334. The second term, third term will be 334 plus 333, which is 667. And the last term will be 667 plus 333, which is 1000. So it satisfies the criteria, starts with 1, ends with 1000, and has at least 3 elements. This is a beautiful application of progressions as well as the concept of numbers getting multiplied. I mean, number of factors of a number or number of ways of writing a number as a product of 2 factors. That completes this particular session. If you liked it, please do share it with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examination. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow our Facebook page. The links for our course are available on the description to this video. Till we meet again the next time, goodbye and all the best.